Peter. All right, so we'll call the meeting to order. And all those that can, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right, roll call, please.
All board members are present this evening.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda is presented. Support. Salvia.
I got it. Yeah. That's good. Are you ready to vote?
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes. Mr. Howell votes yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Cooper, yes.
Mrs. Frederick,
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Hamel,
Hamel, yes.
motion carries.
All right.
I'll skip it.
Consent agenda.
Number 5. Don't listen to these people over here.
I would move to approve the consent agenda as presented. Support.
Thank you. Vote, please.
Mrs. Cooper,
Cooper, yes.
Mrs. Frederick,
Frederick, yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Mr.
Mr.
Howe,
Howell votes yes.
Mr. Hamel,
Hamel, yes.
motion carries.
All right, announcements and information inquiry. Highland Township offices will be closed May 30th in honor of Memorial Day. Founder's Day Parade and festivities will be this Saturday, May 21st, starting at 10 a.m. right out in front of the building here. The Highland Garden Club plant sale will also be Saturday, May 21st, from 9 to noon. It'll be in Veterans Park. The Hazardous Waste Day will be June 18th from 9 to 2 in the Highland Elementary parking lot. Any public comment?
Is the parade still, I'm sorry, is the parade still starting down at the
Mhm.
normal place, the church? Sorry, Joe.
I think at 10.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, Joe.
Yes, Joe.
Memorial Day Parade is on May 30th. I don't know, would that be something we should put on our agenda of items, or will we just restrict it to township stuff?
Oh, that's cool.
Announcements and everything.
No, we can make that announcement now. I didn't.
So we probably should make that every year, because it's something that's community driven.
Yeah, I think we posted a next door too.
Yeah.
On it.
Thank you. And then we had it on Highland Matters, I believe, so.
That starts at,
Starts at 11, get there early. There's still a possibility of Huey helicopter giving rides at the YMCA, pending them getting together with all their insurance issues. Right now, they're fighting over all that. So it should be a good event. Anybody has a CJ or Wrangler, we could use some Jeeps. You have a CJ or Wrangler?
No, I just sold it.
Call the new one.
Yeah.
So I think, any questions about the parade?
It's downtown Milford.
Yes, starts at American Legion, moves east to Main Street, south to Central Park. There's a wonderful ceremony after, so the parade is just a procession to get to the ceremony.
Nice.
So try to make the ceremony.
And it's always warm, so be ready.
It'll be warm. Be ready. Aircraft coming in, the aircraft schedule, pending weather. Military vehicles are coming in. So we're going to have static display for the military vehicles on Main Street from 10 to 11.
okay,
And then we'll have we're asking the fire departments, Commerce, White Lake, Highland, and Milford are coming. And we're gonna try to get them on display at 10 o'clock for the people to see and touch, and rather than just sitting on the side road, waiting to go through town. So make something of it for the men that drive the vehicles, the people that bring vehicles.
okay.
Takes away the boredom of just sitting there waiting for an hour for it.
In line.
For a 7-minute ride, and you're done.
All right,
So that's it.
okay. Any other comment?
I forgot, we did flag almost all of 59 a few days ago. Ran short of some flags because the shipment was cut in half. So there's 6 more flags to put up east of Duck Lake on 59.
Cool.
So
Thank you for that.
Is there a ceremony for Memorial Day here?
At the cemeteries and
And that starts at 8?
it was 8:30 and 9, I think.
something like that. It's on the website.
It's 8 o'clock at the Township Cemetery, with 8:30 here, and then
It sounds right. I wouldn't swear to it without checking the website.
they're very brief, so don't come late.
They're very good.
All right. So
Public comment, did you want to make a comment about the Revolutionary War?
I was just going there. You read my mind.
Well,
So this past Saturday, there was a presentation and I guess you call it honoring of several Highland residents, the Stanton family, I'll put it, of
like rededication, I believe.
rededication, yeah. And the father, and there was a wife and a couple daughters on this one monument. And the father, can't remember his first name, Jonathan Stanton, was in the Revolutionary War for a year. And then moved east or west, I mean, and ended up landing in Highland. And so they had a really nice ceremony for it. We have a new plaque that's out by Milford Road by the stone columns and the gate that describes it all. And one of the most interesting parts for me was that Dale Fagley found out 2 days prior to the event that it's his great grandfather.
That is cool.
So he was surprised as well. So it kind of put a little bit of current reality to it. It's kind of a neat thing. So, but that was a very nice ceremony. It's a really nice plaque out by the road.
There were the reenactors from the Revolutionary War with all their flags, and we brought our rifle team in to wear the rifle volley.
Nice.
And then just before the some attorney arrested Dale Fagley because his great friend owed some money to somebody if they got there.
If you want to go see the grave site, if you see where the new sign is installed out by the fence, if you go directly back from there about 5 rows. It's
Due
really
west.
nice. It's really clean because they spiffied it up.
Tall,
Yeah.
pointy.
Over here.
Yeah,
On
Milford,
Highland.
at Milford Road.
Crossing towns.
Yep.
Okay. Which road is that?
It's between the north and the middle road.
Okay.
And it's, if you look at the
Straight back
sign
from the
and you
sign.
follow the sign, it's directly to the west of it. About 5 rows in or so. And there's some nice new plaques on it.
Mhm.
And I have to say, Peter Worthman was one of
I
the,
saw him.
and they did a great job of it, but when Peter's walking along, my first thought was, wow, they actually brought somebody from the Revolutionary War in here.
Brought somebody back from the dead.
It was fun.
That much older.
That's true, so.
Yeah, we're moving on.
Okay, enough of that comment stuff. All right, so we're gonna move on to new business. The first topic is to award the bid for structured cabling installation to the new Township Hall. And we've made a decision that we're gonna not do it.
You're gonna go acoustic.
I'll get killed here. No, we've got I'll give an explanation of it here. The introductory letter that you got that's in the packet pretty much describes it. We had 4 companies that responded to our request for bids. And as you can see, the numbers were 19, 31, 43, and 50,000. And so Mike Grady and Beth Corwin and myself, we went through them initially, and then Mike and Beth did interviews on the 2 lower. And I want to make a comment because we have the couple here that have the lowest bid and they're part of the recommendation. One of the things that I learned from a couple of years ago was that we had a low bid for doing the cemetery tree work. And we made that, a lot of times you take the highest and the lowest and you chuck them out the door and you go for the mid-range. And I did that, if you want to call it that, in recommendation. And the contractor was, with the lowest bid, was in the audience. And if you guys, some of you remember, he said, "Why am I not qualified?" Well, then I asked him, you know that you could very well lose money. Same thing I'm going to say to you guys, but I think you know better than that. Or you wouldn't have made that bid. The individual said that he felt he could do it for what he quoted, and he committed to doing it, and he did a phenomenal job. I mean, he really did the right job. He turned out to be the right person for the job. It wasn't just a slash and burn type thing. He got all the elevations. He knew what trees were what, how to trim them, so on and so forth. So that was a lesson for me. And in this case, I looked at it and I said, this is how I came about it, so you folks understand, is that as your companies grow, your overhead grows, you got a minimum ticket you can afford to do before you start losing money. In other words, if you got a lot of employees, you got buildings, you got equipment, all these things, you're going to be forced into a different level of bidding. And I looked at this one and I knew that you guys were local. I knew that you'd had, through conversation that you had, you're not green to this, you just are new to being owners and want to be able to get your chance and your feet in as many doors as you can. And I felt it was important that we at least interview you to verify that. So the net result is that Beth and Mike agreed. They had their conversations, and one of the things that came out of that conversation as well was that SSD Cabling and Cameras LLC is a member of the Chamber of Commerce. We're a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and they chose to do their pricing so that there was not a markup on the product, if that's the way you put it. So because we're chamber members. And I think that's a standout thing to do. It's a great opportunity as a gift to our community. We don't want you to do it for free, but I know that if you do some math on some of these things, you can kind of figure how many dollars per hour somebody might be charging. And I know you're not going to do it for $0, but in any event, I would like to make the motion that we choose SSD Cabling and Cameras LLC for our contractor for wiring and cabling our new town hall.
Support sound good?
Tool supports. Okay. What?
Question.
Okay. Discussion.
Yeah, and you are installing a punch card system, is that correct?
Punch card system.
From the 70s.
When I was in data processing, you had to be strong, not smart, to carry 50 cases of IBM cards to the computer room.
Well, I never knew. The company's called Strong Structured Data Cabling.
Tables are still heavy. Okay. All right.
So, all right. So anybody else have any questions about it? All right. We will then ask for a vote.
All right. Mrs. Frederick.
Frederick, yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia.
Sylvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Mr. Howe.
John votes yes.
Mrs. Cooper.
Cooper, yes.
Mr. Hamel.
Hamel, yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. So if you two don't mind, would you like to introduce yourselves to the board here? So.
This is my wife Amber Strong. My name is Justin. I have been in the low voltage industry for about 7 years. I work for a very large integrator. Basically, just this past year, we decided that we were going to create something of our own and make it a family business. Amber,
Yeah, so, I've got my MBA in business management, and with his experience in my education and just management background, I've been a facilities manager, worked in construction management for a few years. It just, yeah, it fit really well to start this business, and it's been great, and we really appreciate you guys giving us the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Thanks for bidding.
So, yeah, no, I was super excited when I saw this pop up. I'm like, oh, Justin, look, they're right here. So,
They really appreciate you guys.
yeah, thank you.
Is that low voltage gonna be lighting up our flag soon?
We'll talk about that. We gotta get, we'll give you another contest
I
here.
grew up in White Lake, Michigan.
Were you a teacher? Are you a teacher?
He's a teacher
Where-
still.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I went to Lakeland.
I thought you-
Yeah, I thought you looked familiar. You
Amber.
said, it was finer.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Amber waves.
Everything's flags.
Well, thank you very much, and we're looking forward to working with you.
Yes.
The company that you'll be working along with is Summit. That's a general contractor,
Okay.
and they're stellar. And also, if you have any questions or anything that you need help with, I'm right here available to work with you.
Okay.
So you won't have to feel like you're alone. You won't be.
Yeah.
And so far, everybody that's been working on the project has been just in there and going great guns along with each other. And you'll, when you meet the general contractors, they're good people to, if you can get connected up with them, they'd be a good group.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be able to give you a good recommendation to move you along. So on to the next step. So,
Appreciate that.
all right, well, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to sit through the rest of it. They have a 4-month-old
Oh.
that is out in the car in a cardboard box.
No, that is not true.
That's a joke. That's a
The
joke.
dogs are watching. Sorry.
I was working on wires right now.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Thank you guys,
Um,
I appreciate it.
you're welcome.
Um, I just hope somebody will just call us back or
As
whatnot.
far
Yeah.
as start dates.
Yeah, we'll get-
Summit
we'll-
will be.
Someone will be the ones that'll get a hold of you.
Awesome.
Sounds
Thank
good.
If you have any questions, they'll call.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, well, that's pretty cool. Finally get some local people in. All right, the next item is a cell tower agreement. Now, this agreement isn't to build the tower. I was approached by Frontier, no, Verizon. It's not Frontier. By Verizon, asking if we would be interested in, given a place in Duck Lake Pines Park to put a tower. Now, I don't know how many of you go through the dark zone there on Duck Lake Road.
For some reason, it's better. Was there one, the last few times I've gone through, I haven't dropped a call, which normally used to do that, so, but I'm just saying.
Well, I've already lost a couple and you get
Okay.
midway. But anyways, the idea is to help promote that, make it clear application there. But I discussed it with Jennifer and she got a hold of the DNR, and the DNR said, yes, you can do it, but all of the resources or the revenue from it has to be allocated back to the parks,
No, duck to that part.
to that park, whatever.
Yep.
So,
Should be a problem.
Yeah.
so the
And you can only take
that's a
that.
great thing, actually. I mean, if you have a revenue stream that you can then keep things up and going, then,
But it's-
so,
Because we got a grant initially to get that part
So
and
that's
then to construct it. Well, no, sorry, the land was donated to us and then we got a grant to construct it. So once you change the plan, you have to check back with them and make sure it's okay.
so, anyways, I don't know if I can share the screen on this one or not. Yes. Is that
Do
it?
they have any idea what the revenue would be from that?
We don't as of now. So we have 2 cell towers and they're different revenues even from the same company.
Wow.
Okay, so
Depending on how long they've been there.
this agreement, what I'm asking for here tonight is the approval to sign this agreement moving forward.
So they're testing the soil and all that.
Right, they go through and they do all the stuff that we would normally do for, for pollution and stuff like that. So they can't be held responsible for anything found after the fact, you know.
Right.
It's just due diligence.
It's their due diligence, right? And what I wanted to show you was the picture that were, if you look at the,
Oh, yeah, I can see it.
not on that
Oh,
thing.
you
you
can
can't.
pull it up on yours, Joe.
What does that say on that screen there,
I
Brian?
think it says,
I can
oh,
read
It
it.
says it's being recorded.
yeah.
Oh, okay, doesn't matter. So anyways, they drew a box in there and I don't think he really realized where he was drawing it, but
It's
Yeah.
on the volleyball.
it's next to the tennis court, which is actually a hole in the ground where there's a volleyball court.
Mhm.
So my suggestion was to, we'll go ahead and I had talked to the individual that is responsible for this. And he said that if to move forward, we need to at least have the agreement to move forward. And then we can talk about alternatives to where it could be placed. So let's see if we can,
Yeah, because I'm not a fan of it right next to.
if I can pull up.
If you go like to the
a
library,
map.
you stand next to that cell tower and try to play tennis. It's a little weird.
I'll just try.
Whoop, too far. Okay, so. Satellite image. Share the screen.
You have a screen card, that's the screen. My screen card with it.
Okay, so right now I have the screen sharing on and it shows the park. I will try and zoom in. Oh, there we go.
Clear that message, you should be able to see
It's the
something.
same one as in our packet, right?
For us, yes.
This is a different image.
Oh, with the.
Audio, probably.
Yeah, what is it? What gets rid of the other one? It's something else.
I can see Brian.
Okay,
Yeah.
oops.
Oh, we gotta mute one of them.
Probably not.
Sorry.
Oh.
Hello.
Mr. Anderson, we're doing this for you. So anyways, if whoever's watching this on Zoom or can see it on their devices, the original intent, the thing that's in the packet is up by the tennis courts. And my suggestion is going to be down to the lower left side of the park, between the two pathways that are in there. There's a pretty good size area where that facility could kind of be hidden back in. So we'll have to discuss it with them and make sure that that's something that they're willing to do. I think if they want something on that site, it's a matter, I mean, we give them the right to be able to put the road back to it that they need, which isn't a lot. As you know, on the township property, it's just a 2-track going back through the woods. So that's the intent. So I guess what I'll do is to shorten this up is to ask for make a motion to allow the supervisor to sign the site access agreement between Celco Partnership, DBA Verizon Wireless, and Charter Township of Highland for cell tower to be located at Duck Lake Pines Park. Okay, moved and supported. Discussion.
Did the Lisa review this?
She should have
Oh, okay.
delivered it to me.
Okay, all right, awesome.
My intent here is that I get the permission. I'm going to call and ask more questions. Lisa can then look at it as well. We don't have to sign it right away.
Right, well,
So,
and I read it and it just seems to say things like, you know, they can leave the sample, like if something contaminated was found, we would be responsible to clean up the samples.
right,
That were dug out of the ground, I mean, just normal stuff,
right.
and it just gives them access. And,
A whole bunch of other legalese.
yeah, just, and no money being transferred and no
Right.
cost to us to run the tests.
Right.
Unless we want to, I think it kind of says unless we want to purchase the results
Right.
for our records or something like that.
So there's a building over at the one at the library. Is that like a precursor to the cell tower or was that something that we built?
Nope, That's
It's
so
part
that
of
goes
it.
with every cell tower. There, it's a, but, you know, they put it inside the lease area.
Okay,
And it houses usually like a generator or
Well, there's,
electricity.
other electrical panels,
components that-
depends on the, who's on the tower. And then,
so we use that for storage.
So I don't know if it was odd or out of the ordinary that Nextel let us have a room for storage.
I think that was probably part of their
Part of it,
request.
yeah.
I mean, if there's a need, I mean, maybe it's just for sports equipment.
We get it right.
I don't know.
I think if we're gonna do that and they're gonna pay us, then we could put a building up for sports equipment. Rather
But
than,
it's a good thought.
it's a nightmare going into
I
that.
wondered if it was part of the packages. That was my question.
The unit up there at the library property has a rack of about 7 locks. So you gotta know which lock is yours, number one, and then you unhook your lock and then it slides open and,
So we're like, so 10 people next to it.
All right, so we got a motion second.
yep, so any other discussion on it? Okay, so vote please.
All right, Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
So, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Mr. Howe,
Mr. Hall votes yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Cooper, yes.
Mrs. Frederick,
Frederick, yes.
Mr. Hamel.
Hamel, yes.
Motion carries.
All right, the next item, C, budget amendment, tablets for precincts. Tammy, you want to describe what you want to do?
So, when you first walk into the polling location, there's a computer there with a staff person to say, which precinct are you in? Are you in the right building? If so, which line do you get in? So we don't have people waiting too long in the wrong line and getting frustrated. So those laptops are, I think they were bought in maybe 2010, super old laptops. And the best way to go to replace them would be to get tablets. And I thought maybe I might be able to purchase tablets out of a state grant that we're getting, but as of this moment, they said, no. They may change their mind at some point, and if I can, I'll go to state money, but either way, we need them.
I mean, the original small tablets you give, I still have mine. I don't use it.
No,
No, it doesn't work on
needs to be a
iPads.
Windows tablet, it can't be an Apple.
Oh, to be able to search the database.
Yeah, it's
Voter
really has to
registration
be a
database.
Windows based.
Good thought though, Joe.
Yeah,
Well,
and I mean, they're not too much money. Yeah,
you're
So
putting
basic-
4 of them in?
yeah, well, I was gonna get 8, usually you have,
Oh, one for each precinct.
yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna get 8.
There-
If the people are in the wrong line, they gotta wait till they get to the front to find out where they're at.
And if they're in the wrong line, and hopefully they're in the right building. And if not, they,
So somebody should say, before you stand in line, go up there and
Yes.
check.
and that's what they do.
So when you first come in the door, that's what you encounter first, is the person who. can
Somebody
check you.
checking to make sure you're in
If
there.
they're in the wrong line,
To get there,
yeah, can you go up to the door before you get in the long line to say, am I in the right line? You don't want to wait in the long line to get to the person that says.
Correct.
you're the other line.
Right.
Yep.
So we looked at a kind of a case for the tablets, for protective case, and it can be worn around your neck. So that if, there is that kind of weird long line situation, you could pick it up from the table and go down the
Well,
line.
it just,
Right.
we don't want people to have to wait in line to come there to find out the wrong place.
Yeah,
I mean, how about like a big sign saying, you're not sure what precinct you are, step in here and we'll tell you, I mean, something big.
but generally that only happens at those 7 a.m. voters. And once that crowd gets through, you don't generally have lines going outside,
Alright.
not too
Okay.
much.
I just, I think what's being voted on to, so, okay,
Yeah,
just making some thoughts.
yeah,
And if we publish the election, maybe in the publication, we like to say, if you're not sure where you're at, proceed inside and check before you go in line. Some early warning on a newsletter, when they let you know this is, heads up,
No, your precinct.
That way we might think, oh, I could walk in there and they'll shoot me because I'm getting in front of the line. I'm just going to find
They
out.
might.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
I just have refrained from 10 different thoughts. So
So we need a motion to purchase those.
Mhm. Or to amend the budget, so.
All right, I'll make a motion to amend the budget to move forward with purchasing the necessary tablets for the election process.
Support.
All right, Beth. Okay, ready to vote?
yep,
Mr. Salvia,
Sylvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Mr. Howe,
Mr. Howell votes yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Cooper, yes.
Mrs. Frederick,
Frederick, yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Hamel?
Mr. Hamel, yes. And just for general clarification, if somebody didn't have that information right in front of them, the amount, the budget amount was $2,000,
Oh, okay.
correct?
Yes.
So the tablets are like $200 to $300, you know, and they vary, and Tammy found a bunch of different
Yes, they go
opportunities.
out of stock really fast. So we shopped 2 weeks ago and those ones I looked at are already out of stock. So we gotta, once we have approval, now we can shop
And there
again.
may be other uses for those for other purposes that we don't know about today. So we have them in stock already for another event or for some other.
Yeah,
Okay,
and-
Possibly.
okay,
They're actually is cheaper than an iPad, so
yeah.
Those you want to make, those ones you want, what you work. So that's-
Yeah, I went down and I looked at Milford's
Okay.
because they've been using tablets for some time and I was like, how does that work? And the program is so small, it only takes up half the screen anyway. So when you get that on-screen keyboard, it's just fine.
all right, so it is a special board meeting. We did the special stuff today, so on that note, meeting's adjourned.